Hi Aries, and welcome to your June 2019 Astrology 33 bonus love reading. This is normally a reading that I do for the sign whose video from the previous month had the most likes, views, and new subscribers, but this month I decided to do it for all the signs just so you guys could see what this is about. And I also updated the spread from what I used to do with the bonus love readings. This is what I like to call the bridging the gap spread, and I'll explain what that is in a second actually. But before I forget, if you want to book a personal reading with me, if you want to follow me on Instagram or donate to the channel, check out the description of the video for more info on all that. Alright, so first thing you guys might notice is, if you're used to my regular readings, is we have different tarot decks on the table. On the left side here we have the Lover's Path Tarot, and then on the right side we have the Tarot of Sexual Magic. And the way the spread works is it's similar to the past, present, future spread I used to do, but it's slightly different. So the cards on this side are meant to represent your energy. The cards on this side are meant to represent their energy. And basically the idea is this would represent past energies for you and for them, present for you, present for them, future for you, future for them. And then we pull some oracle cards after we go through the main spread to see if there's a way to bridge the gap, as far as if there's any additional messages to add on to the main spread. Alright, so we'll get started, and going with the past energy from your side, we have the Triumph card. So this is the equivalent of the World card. So for me, I'm getting a few different things with this. For some of you, this could just be saying that you might have graduated from college. That's a lot of people will graduate in May in the States anyway, so maybe that's what was taking place there. Or this could have even represented some kind of a promotion of some kind that you got in your career. But either way, the main vibe that I'm getting with this is I'm feeling distanced. So, if it's college, you might have been across the country from the person, for example, or maybe even overseas, it's because I'm really getting a distance vibe between your energy and their energy, physical distance, that is. So that could be the issue there, or maybe even you got an amazing offer that would take you away from them. So, maybe you had been living in the same area as them, but now you got this really big offer that was going to take you a further distance from them. All right, and basically, before I forget too, with this card, it does represent completions, so that's why the main thing I was thinking that maybe there was some kind of a promotion, a graduation, but this could have been the completion of a cycle between the two of you as well. In the past energy on their side, we have the Queen of Swords. So this actually is a card that represents Libra. So some of you could certainly be dealing with a Libra. That is your opposite sign after all. But this could even just be pointing to the full moons that we had in Libra. We had 2 this year. So maybe that's what was going on there. And maybe that's where the news came about, that there was going to be distance between the two of you. Or maybe that was when the distance was going to come to an end. You guys would know better how it will play out for you. But I'm definitely seeing distance here as well, because, I look at the way she's looking at that painting of the guy, right? So to me, that just represents that they're not physically together. Oh, and also, before I forget as well, as far as these energies, as we're going through the spread, if you feel like the energy on this side sounds more like your energy and that sounds more like the other person's energy, then trust that too. It is just a general spread, so roll with that if that's what you feel. Alright, in the present position from your side, we have the 2 of Coins. So to me, this definitely represents, in the love context, and especially with this deck too, you see the 2 hearts there, right? And the 1 coin, it's red, and then this looks like it's grayed out, maybe white or whatever. So to me, the first thing I think of when I see this card is hot and cold. So things are blowing hot and cold. So to me, it could be because of that distance between the two of you, and that now maybe in the present, it's starting to wear on you a little bit, to where you might be on the fence about, all right, is this really something that I want to continue or what? Like maybe in the past it worked out for you, but especially this month too, we're gonna have Mars moving through your sign, basically the entire, not your sign, excuse me, your 4th house the entire month of Cancer. So, That fourth house could represent home. So, you could just be wanting something a bit more stable. And the North Node is in that sign as well. So, you could be thinking about, all right, I'd like to have something a little bit more stable, right? As opposed to a long distance thing where maybe part of the year you're together, another part of the year you're apart. Um, that's really the energy that I'm getting there with that. And then with the energy on their side, I could see that could definitely be the case too because they have the Knight of Wands. So, the Knight of Wands energy is that type of energy where it's constant in and out. This is an energy of someone who's always on the move. So it could be either way. It could be you that's often traveling, or like I said, if you're studying abroad or something like that, or just studying a far distance away from where the two of you live, that could be what's going on here. This could even be them coming to see you, right? Because in the past, if this is what we're saying, the separation, maybe they're coming to see you in the present, and maybe you're a little bit indecisive about it because, on the one hand, you might be excited to see them again, but you're like, okay, but it's just going to be the same cycle, repeating the same cycle again, right? We're like, okay, we spend whatever amount of time together, then you or they go their separate ways back to where they live or, back to school, their job, whatever the case may be. Because at the bottom of the deck on your side, too, we have the Chariot card. Well, it's called Desire in this deck, but to me, this is another indicator of travel, and also with Desire, I almost see with this card as well, it almost looks like they might be hugging and then one of them might be leaving, right? Just that energy that I'm getting because the Chariot energy represents travel as well. So that's why I'm really just picking up on that vibe. So you guys will know, obviously, if that's the situation you're dealing with. And in the future position on your side, we have the Eight of Swords. So again, to me, this is just worrying about, just feeling indecisive, feeling stuck. On the one hand, especially with Desire at the bottom of the deck there, on the one hand, you might really, really like this person, but on the other hand, you might just be getting a bit, I don't know what the word is, but you just feel like something's off with the connection because of the constant back and forth, right? Oh, we're together for however long, then this person goes away, or I have to go back to wherever I need to go back to, and it's just, too much up and down, and you might just feel like it's putting a strain on the relationship, but, at the same time, you still value the connection, so it's hard for you to actually walk away from it. That's the vibe that I'm getting there. And then the future influence on their side, we have the Queen of Chalices, which is the equivalent to the Queen of Cups, the Five of Wands, and the Six of Wands. So, this is another Cancer energy. Like I said, we had the Chariot there, which is also a Cancer energy. So, could be dealing with a Cancer as well, or this could just be pointing to a timeline, especially considering that this is in the future. So, this might be saying in the future, all right, maybe during the time of Cancer, you guys will be able to be together. But then let's say when these two cards here both represent Leo, the first 10 degrees and the middle 10 degrees. So this could just be saying, all right, yes, you might enjoy your time together now, but then come the time of Leo, they'll have to be gone again, right? And then you might have to leave again, and then you might wonder, well, can I trust them while they're gone, right? That could be what's going on there. So yeah, I just feel like this is just a vibe that really jumped out to me heavy is that there's distance between the two of you, physical distance, and that could be what's causing you to wonder, can you actually trust the connection or not? And then at the bottom of the deck for them too, we have the Magician card. So on the positive side, that could just be that saying that they're really good at manifesting, right? So who knows? For some of you, they might even say, hey, well, maybe I could come move to your area or asking you to move to their area, but you might be on the fence about that too, right? Or this could be on a more negative connotation saying that, you might feel like there's someone who might be telling you that they're doing one thing, but they're really doing another, right? As far as can you really trust them um, when they're traveling? So that could be what's going on there. All right, and then the next thing that we'll do is we'll actually pull some oracle cards to see if we could get some additional messages regarding the spread. So first thing I'm going to do is try to pull a couple of cards from this Mystic Moon oracle deck that I have here. And, I did pre-shuffle it before we started the reading. So what I'll do is I'll try to see if there's any unspoken messages from your side toward them. Sorry, the camera's blurry. It's probably going to have to wait till I put a card back in front. But yeah, so I'll shuffle for a bit, see if we get a card as far as an unspoken message from you toward them. And then we'll do the same for them too to see if there's anything unspoken from their side toward you. So with this deck, I'll shuffle for a bit, and if it feels like nothing's coming up, I'm not going to force it. I like to have the cards jump out to me when I'm shuffling. So, for the main spread, they can take a while when I shuffle like that. That's why I usually don't do it on camera. But for this spread in particular, I do like to actually do this for the Oracle card anyway. And if nothing comes up, we'll just take that as, all right, there's nothing, to be said from you to them. At least not something that you wouldn't already know, right? So, all right, almost had one come up there. All right, there we go. Yep, looks like you got two cards, actually. And then we'll see if we get anything from their side toward you now. Same thing, if I shuffle for a while, nothing's coming up, we'll take that as a sign and just keep moving. Alright, I'll give it a few more shuffles, and if nothing comes up, we'll just leave it as is. Oh, there we go. And it looks like two from their side as well, so a lot to say there. Alright, so starting with the two on your side, and since there's two on both sides, maybe, it'll be like one message will resonate for you, and the other one might resonate for others of you. Alright, so one says, our connection still affects me. So I could totally see that being the case as far as, like we said, you're on the fence. Maybe they moved away from a distance and now you're just on the fence, like, oh, do I want, it looks like there's definite confusion there where you might not be fully satisfied, but not ready to walk away either. And then the other card says, my heart is telling me just do it. So that could definitely be, as far as that energy that I was talking about, where maybe they're proposing that you move to them, or maybe even suggesting that they can move to you, and maybe you're on the fence about it, but it's at least something that's on your mind. All right, and then on their side we have, I feel badly for the way that I treated you. You didn't deserve that. So I don't know if I necessarily see that there. Well, you know what? With the Queen of Swords energy too, sometimes that's referred to as an Ice Queen type energy. So maybe, if you were the one who was traveling, maybe they weren't being very open with you about it, very fair about how they really felt. They were just like, oh, whatever, maybe blowing you off, and you're like, all right, well, this is a great opportunity for me, Maybe you felt like they weren't being as understanding as you would have liked. And then, all right, on this side, we see the second one says, something is still missing for me, and I'm trying to figure out what that is. So if they're the one who's on the go, because, I do see movement there with, like I said, the Knight of Wands energy, and then we have two Wands cards at the end there as well. They're the ones that's on the move. Maybe it's they're constantly in and out because of that. They could just feel unfulfilled, not even necessarily tied to their relationship. They just might feel like they're not sure what they want to do in life in general, possibly, like, especially if this represents just saying that you're more established, right? Like maybe you're the one who did graduate and you're settled, and they're the ones who are still bouncing around, trying to figure out what to do, and maybe that's where the frustration's coming in for you. All right, and then lastly, we'll pull one more card from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. So for those of you who normally watch my general videos, this is one of the Oracle decks I always use there. So this is definitely a bit more familiar. And this one, like I said, we'll just pull one to see if there's any additional messages for you regarding this spread. Oh, there we go. Okay, we have truth be told. So that's kind of a fitting one from what we were just talking about, right? Like maybe they weren't expressing to you that, hey, I'm bothered by the fact that you're on the move, or maybe you weren't expressing that to them. But there's the artwork for it, and the number is 14. So we'll read the messages from that, see if they add anything. Okay, it says honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial, the willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. The oracle's message. There is the truth, which is the essence of a thing, and then there is a truth, subjective according to the philosophy of the adherent or believer. This is not a time for debate about which truth is truer. This is a time when you are called to proclaim your truth out loud and be willing to be transparent, honest, and open in your communication with others and with yourself. Nothing less than surrender to what is, peeling off the layers of denial that kept you tied to an illusion, will set you free. Be authentic and gloriously flawed, and Spirit will answer with miracles. So again, like I said, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it definitely would appear to me anyway that, and like I said, we're going with the assumption that this is your energy, but if it fits more that this is your energy, then just trust that too. But whosever energy is represented here, like I said, probably yours. I feel like you seem to have a problem with the travel, or like I said, if it's just in the constant on again, off again, where you guys are together, then okay, maybe something happens, whether they actually physically move away, or it's just a constant on and off, hot and cold energy. Maybe you haven't expressed to them that it's frustrating you just yet, and maybe it's saying that doing so would help. All right, and then the relationship message says, people tell you who they are very quickly if you're willing to listen to what they say and pay attention to how they behave. This card calls you to engage in heartfelt, open conversation. It's time to see the truth about what you share with each other and tell the truth about who you are and what you need. No one can do that for you. Remember that your truth is always based in your personality and experience up to now. A higher truth will be found after you communicate honestly and see how doing so has helped you become more attuned to yourself. Don't hold back. Speak your truth and listen. So, pretty much just emphasizes the stuff that we were already saying. And, especially with that Eight of Swords energy we see there, that does represent, just feeling stuck and not actually communicating, and maybe even not knowing for sure in your mind what you want to communicate, right? So, that might be the first step, is to really get clear on what you want to say before doing so, but it does look like you're encouraged to do so. Like I said, all of this could be a timeline energy as well, saying that, okay, maybe by the time of Cancer, things could improve. If you think about the Queen of Cups energy versus the Knight of Wands energy, that's definitely a more stable energy in that regard too. So, maybe it's just one of those things where you have to lay down those boundaries with them and let them know, what you want out of the connection, and see what happens. All right, so we'll wrap up there, guys, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.